What's up, YouTubers? This is Ernie, Blerd Without Fear, and we are going to be touching on the Merciless. And this is another Dark Knight's Metal tie-in to, once again, Dark Knight's Metal, the major comic event that's going on with DC Rebirth right now. The Merciless is, in all of these so far, if you're not familiar, a lot of these one-shots are the Batman of the Dark Multiverse that have either fused with, members of the Justice League like the Flash or Aquaman, or stolen their powers in some way, or given themselves power like the characters, or similar to the characters of the Justice League. And in this case, this is a world where Batman gains powers not unlike one of Wonder Woman's greatest foes. He basically becomes a god of war. But before we get started, hit me up in the comments and let me know what videos you want to see me make next. And that way I can keep putting out content that you all will want to see. And if you haven't done so already, consider subscribing, so that way you become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers, and make sure to tap that bell button so you make sure you don't miss any videos. The Merciless is an interesting character because this particular Batman is not really that unlike the Batman of, Earth Zero, only this particular Batman has had some sort of relationship with Wonder Woman. This is actually, one of those situations where we know for a fact that Batman and Wonder Woman, they were a lot more than just super friends. We kind of open up with Batman, a tattered Batman, holding a lifeless Wonder Woman. She's battered and kind of beat up, and it's kind of funny how it all breaks down because, we see that, the actual God of War, Ares, the God of War, known for, making these power helmets and things like that, and he forges a new one that, is supposed to be more powerful than any helmet he's ever made. A helmet that could essentially destroy countries by, just the blink of an eye. Basically, it makes Ares into God mode for gods, if that makes any sense. Batman catches Ares off guard, and he puts the helmet on himself, and he essentially becomes the Merciless. And this is one of those things we learn as we have this meeting at Langley, where Argus and Task Force X, or I'm sorry, I'm just gonna call them the Suicide Squad, Shade, which is an organization that, Shade is one I'm not 100% familiar with, but it seems to me to be kind of a Justice League Dark knockoff. I mean, that's probably not what it is, but that's what it sounds like. Or like a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen type deal, I don't know. But basically they're the Superhuman Advanced Defense Executive, which is... sounds interesting, but whatever. We've also got the DEO, which I think is the Department for Extra Normal Operations or something like that. I probably butchered that entirely. And we've also got the military itself, so you got Steve Trevor there. We've also got General Lane and, Amanda Waller, and I'm not as familiar with any of the other characters, but, they're basically trying to come up with some kind of zero-hour plan because, the world is literally being destroyed and there's nothing else they can do. And of course, because Amanda Waller and General Lane and Steve Trevor, because they're all personalities that don't mix, they're in the same room, and it's really just coming down to a matter of no one being able to agree on anything. The Merciless uses this as an opportunity to step in and basically just take them all out. And man, when he swings that sword down, like, he doesn't even hit the people that he's chopping at with it, but like they just start vaporizing away, their bodies just start withering away, just with being in, proximity of it. And I mean, this is a Batman who has literally been through the ringer. He has seen wars come and go. This is one of those Batman, like, he kind of reminds me of the Batman from the Red Death, only just a more extreme version of him. Like, he's suffered extreme loss. He's seen his ways, his no-kill methods not work, and he is tired of, playing the game the way he has been playing it. What I believe he actually calls is the Batman of half measures. Which I think is actually really true when you think about it, because he just lets his villains get away. He lets his villains, come back to do more harm to him. And he's like, no, I'm not going to be that Batman anymore. And when he comes in, I mean, he just starts taking people out left and right. General Lane and Steve Trevor get into it because General Lane wants to, set off the nukes and send out the signal to drop the bombs on Langley and kill everybody, including the Merciless. And even Amanda Waller and I think is it Skullhead? I don't remember that particular character's name, or Bones or whatever. I don't know. They all pull their guns on Steve Trevor and like, hey, no, this has to happen because we are literally going to save billions of lives just by sacrificing our own. And we come to find out that it is ultimately all for naught. We get to see the Batman who laughs, approach the Merciless. He offers him the opportunity. He says, hey, I know what it is you're trying to get back after. He says, I can take you to a world where there's, another Wonder Woman. I can give you an opportunity to go to a new world and take that one. One of the things I love about this particular, this is probably, because the Drowned so far is my favorite. At the beginning, the Red Death was my favorite. But now it's kind of become one of those scenarios where I think the Drowned and the Merciless vie for number 1 and number 2. Like they're fighting for number 1, and whichever other one will have number 2. And the Red Death would be number 3 for me so far up to this point. Mostly because I like the fact that this Batman actually questions the man, the Batman who laughs. Like, he tells me, he's like, you're lying. There's everything that you're trying to promise me is a lie. And I like the fact that the Batman who laughs is like, you know what, look, you know who I am. You can tell just by listening to my voice. You know that I'm telling the truth because my voice sounds no different than you. You know who I am, and you know that I won't lie. And it's pretty cool, this guy, he's actually, you can tell the Merciless, I think the Merciless is going to wind up being the weak link in the Dark Knights of the multiverse just because of his ties to Wonder Woman. I feel that way mostly because we see a scene where they show from, I think it was Dark Knight's Metal number 2, where Superman and Wonder Woman get hit by the energy blast from Barbados, and they're all withered and crusted over and old. He makes a mention that he focused on Superman because he couldn't bear to look at Wonder Woman dead. And, once again, going over, Batman's War of Half Measures and, going through his temple, the Temple of the Strigidae, where they're showing, like, the path that Batman has walked. And he's seeing all these things and deciding that I will not be this Batman. I will be a better Batman. And like I said, once again, I think, man, he is making a strong case for being my favorite Batman so far out of all this. But they end up dropping the bomb on Langley, and it does not work at all. Batman, the Merciless, is just sitting on a throne, surrounded by Amanda Waller and General Lane and Steve Trevor and everybody, Father Time and Bones, everybody, and they're literally like on their hands and knees praying to the Merciless because he absorbed all the energy from the bomb they were dropping. Because this was supposed to be a bomb that no one could survive. Superman can't survive it. Doomsday couldn't survive it. Like, literally, there was not a meta-human alive that was supposed to be able to survive this. And the Merciless did. Not only that, he saved the people who were literally standing in close proximity to him. Not because he was trying to be benevolent, but because he wants to make them suffer. And you can, and once again, going back to, him being the weakest link, as far as, ties to other characters, you see him, like, using his talons to carve Wonder Woman's visage into this stone. And that's when we discover that Wonder Woman didn't die when he picked up the helmet. Wonder Woman was not dead. She was just unconscious. She was stunned. And that's why she seemed lifeless at the time. So this Batman, made a choice that would damn his soul, because he knew if he put on that helmet that it was over for him, but he believed he was incorruptible. And that is where this Batman falters, is that he's not as pure of heart as he thinks he is. But the helmet has truly corrupted him. It's almost like the One Ring, like the Lord of the Rings scenario, where the helmet has literally just poisoned his mind and turned him into this, this figure of mercilessness and darkness and corruption. She didn't die because Ares killed her. She died because the Merciless killed her. And that's where we get that name from. And I think that's such a, like, once again, when we're talking about these Batman of the Dark Multiverse, that's what's hooking me, is these characters that actually have real reasons for becoming who they are. I mean, I get it, you know, because once again, I talked about this with Dawnbreaker. I feel like Dawnbreaker is the weakest one out of all of them, you know, for their motivations for becoming who they are, because the Dawnbreaker's motivations for becoming the Dawnbreaker are no different than the Batman we already have. Whatever, that's neither here nor there. I just like the fact that this is a Batman of the Dark Multiverse who seems to have a little more in, you know, terms of layers compared to some other characters. And, you know, I talked, you know, previously about, you know, how I feel that, you know, some of these characters are like getting wrecked, you know, when they're going up against these, you know, Batman of the Dark Multiverse. And I thought that, I actually had a sneaky suspicion Wonder Woman was going to get it the worst. And I mean, technically she doesn't get it as bad as Flash or Cyborg, but, you know, I think Green Lantern got off light. You know, and I think Aquaman got off light too for the most part, other than, you know, the whole issue with Mira. But I feel like Wonder Woman probably got it worse because she got killed by someone that she cared about. You know, someone who she was, I'm assuming, in love with. And this Batman sees Steve Trevor and he's like, no, you were dead on my Earth and I'm gonna make you dead in this Earth. And that's the last thing we see, is him holding up Steve Trevor and getting ready to prove why he has the name, even further prove why he has the name, the Merciless. But I, like, once again, deep down, I think there is still some good in him, and I would not be surprised if somewhere in the next 2 or 3 issues of Dark Knight's Metal, probably around issue number 5, we see the Merciless take a turn. Or maybe not take a turn, but maybe do something that, you know, helps out the Justice League in the fight against the Batman of the Dark Multiverse. I would not be surprised. And I think that makes me even like this character more. So, yeah. I think I do like this character a lot more now. Everyone, let me know what you all think about the Batman of the Dark Multiverse so far, and specifically the Merciless. Let me know in the comments which ones are your favorite Batman of the Dark Multiverse. Also, if you like this video, click the like button. And also, if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers, and make sure to tap that bell button so you make sure you don't miss anything. Once again, thank you all so much for watching this, and I'll see you all next time. Plus Ultra.